3, 2, 1, 0.
Roger, the clock is operating. We're underway.
You're loud and clear.
Roger, we're programming and roll okay. A little bumpy along about here.
Roger. Stand by for 20 seconds.
Roger. We're smoothing out some now, getting out of the vibration area.
Roger, you're through max Q, flight path is...
Roger, feels good through max Q and smoothing out real fine. Cabin pressure coming down by 7, okay, flight very smooth now. Sky looking very dark outside.
All Roger, reading you loud and clear, 7, Cape is go, we're standing by for you.
Roger, Cape is go and I am go. Our capsule is in good shape. Fuel 103, 102, oxygen 78,100, cabin pressure holding steady at 5.8, amps is 2.6. All systems are go, indicating 6 Gs. Roger, 0 G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around. Oh, that view is tremendous.
Roger, turnaround has started.
Roger, capsule turning around, and I could see the booster during turnaround just a couple of 100 yards behind me. It was beautiful.
Roger, 7, you have a go, at least 7 orbits.
Roger, understand go for at least 7 orbits. With Friendship 7, can see clear back a big cloud pattern way back across toward the Cape. We're all set. This is very comfortable at 0 G. I have nothing but very fine feeling. It just feels very normal and very good. Have very little dirt floating around in the capsule, just a little bit, and preparing to take Xylo's pill at present time. This is Friendship 7, the head movements cause no sensations whatsoever. Feel fine, reach test, I can hit directly to any spot that I want to hit. I have no problem reaching for knobs and have adjusted to 0 G very easily, much easier than I really thought I would. I have excellent vision on the charts, no astigmatism or any malfunctions at all. I feel fine so far, over.
Roger, understand.
This is Friendship 7, have beautiful view of the African coast, both in the scope and out the window. Out the window is by far the best view. Part of the Canaries was hidden by clouds. Roger, how you doing, Gordo? We're doing real fine up here. Everything is going very well, over.
Don, you sound good.
Roger, control fuel is 90100, oxygen is 75100, amps are 22. All systems are still go, having no problems at all. Control system operating fine, over. The only unusual thing I have noticed is a rather high, what would appear to be a haze layer, up some 7 or 8 degrees above the horizon on the night side. The stars, I can see through it as they go down toward the real horizon, but it's a very visible single band or layer pretty well up above the normal horizon, over.
Shortly, you may observe some lights down there. You want to take a check on them out to your right, over?
Roger, I'm all set to see if I can't get them in sight. Roger, I do have lights in sight on the ground, over.
Okay, there we go. All right, weird stuff. All right. I reconnected all my cables last night because I did some cable management last night. And apparently my microphone was not selected for whatever reason. Nothing was selected. Welcome one and all. Good to see everybody. This is probably going to be like a 30 minute to an hour live stream. Probably going to put together... I can't speak tonight either. Probably going to put together some furniture tonight. So, short and sweet. Low-key. A little hangout here. Welcome one and all. Hope you're having a fantastic hump day. It's Wednesday, right? Hope you're having a fantastic middle of the week. Hope you have some fun stuff planned for the weekend. Let's just make this one a little laid-back hangout. What do you think? What do you say? What do you say? All right, let's go. And it looks like we had 2 super chats before the stream even technically began. Luke, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support of the stream. I hope they give each film more breathing room. In terms of time between films, I could not agree more, if that's what you're going for. I could not agree more, man. I've always said that, the build-up and the hype and the anticipation of Star Wars is a huge part of it. And when you're getting a movie every year, as much as you love Star Wars, to me it feels like a little piece is missing, right? Because of that build-up, because of that hype that we're all so used to, or a lot of us are used to, rather. Star Wars, it's a delicate balancing act, right? I can't imagine Star Wars being like Marvel, where we're just throwing a ton of movies every year. Throw more movies. I would personally feel way more saturated than I've ever felt before if that were the case. So, yeah. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Appreciate the build-up. Appreciate the hype. Because that is a character. That is a character in Star Wars, right? For sure. But I'm with you, man. I could not agree more. And I appreciate that channel support this evening, Luke. And Carter Lovejoy, what's next for you, Greedo, for the channel? I don't really think, like, a week out. Like, that's the extent of my planning for the channel, man. So, I do other stuff besides the channel. So, the channel is, like, just a fun... I don't know. It's just a fun... It's a fun thing that I do, and even if we're not going to get more Star Wars movies for another 4 or 5 years, which maybe that's the case, maybe they're going to come out sooner, who knows, I'm going to still be making Star Wars videos, I'm going to still be talking about random shit in the movies. I'm still going to be talking about random shit in video games. I'm still going to make skits. I'm probably going to start making a lot more skits lately, coming up, just because now we're finally in our new house. And I have more breathing room, and I have my green screen set up permanently, and it's a lot less headache to make videos, and I have my own space, and way more time, or not time, not more time, but way more, I guess, freedom of movement now that we have our house, right? So, nothing really planned, man. I'm just going to keep plugging away and having fun. Carter, honestly, I'll probably start playing some older Star Wars games on streams. I don't think I've streamed a video game in a month. I take that back. I streamed... When did Jedi Fallen Order come out? Did it come out on the... It came out in November, right? Yeah. I don't think I've streamed a video game in like a month, man. It's hard to believe. We just moved into our house, and my office was complete chaos until yesterday. I kind of put it together a little bit. I just haven't been in the mood to play any video games on streams, but I'll probably start kicking that back up pretty soon, though. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. And WTF Jack, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support and the proposal. WTF Jack says, "Will you marry me?" No, I'm taken, man. Happily taken. WTF Jack, but I'm sure there's plenty more Greedos in the sea, right? But I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate the proposal, but unfortunately I'm going to have to put that ring back in your finger, man, or back in your palm, and and say no thanks. But I appreciate that support this evening, Jack. And I hope you're having a good middle of the week. Should try Force Unleashed. Matthew, I've played Force Unleashed on stream from start to finish before. I think I've done that twice now over the channel's existence. Played the Force Unleashed from start to finish. I could be wrong. Maybe just once. I know I've like started it over multiple times. But I think maybe just from start to finish, like one save game, I think I've done one playthrough. It's fun, it's fun. It's a fun hack and slash fun. Little overpowered, crazy ass game. It's enjoyable, for sure. Planning their next set of films from the beginning to end would be pretty nice. You don't think they had a pretty coherent plan? The Rise of Skywalker kind of told me different. I kind of felt like you got to go in with the plan, right? Maybe that was the plan the whole time, but it certainly kind of threw a monkey wrench into my thought process of where things started, at least, Max Harrison, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. I appreciate that. Max says, I really want to see Rian Johnson's trilogy. I can't get why Filoni is seen as the better storyteller. He fills in tiny gaps in lore. RJ would help Star Wars evolve. Yeah, it's strange to me. That's a good word to use, evolve. He's a fantastic storyteller. He's a fantastic director. It kind of like, I don't know, man. It's weird. TLJ is my fourth favorite Star Wars movie, right? And I appreciate it. I'm actually making a video today, or probably later this week. I wrote out the script today, talking about the disparities between critic reviews and audience score. And I was just going down a rabbit hole because my daughter took a 3-hour nap today. It was great. And I was just going down a rabbit hole of like audience reviews and reading all this stuff. And it was really interesting, the dynamic between how critics view a movie and how maybe just your average viewer or a Star Wars fan that's looking through a specific lens, right? Why did I go down that rabbit hole? I don't know, Max. But yeah, I would love to see Rian Johnson's trilogy. I would have loved to at least known what he had in store for an episode 9, right? Filoni, I like the Clone Wars. It's fun. I definitely don't like it as much as a lot of people, and I think one of the main reasons for that is just not growing up with it. That's without a doubt the biggest thing. But one sec.
Like an old Republic era trilogy or saga, as long as Disney does it right. I would love to see ancient Sith and Jedi fight, especially Revan.
Lord Twiggo, thank you so much, man. Give me one sec. But, personally, I thought The Last Jedi had some really unique concepts and ideas and inventive, it was inventive and fresh, and that's what I'm looking for in Star Wars movies. I'm not looking for something like the 86% approval rating from audiences for The Rise of Skywalker. As I said in my first Rise of Skywalker video, if that's the 86% of Star Wars fans or audience viewers, that's what they want, 86%, then I'm definitely in the minority. I would take a Last Jedi over The Rise of Skywalker any day. But that's just me. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it comes to fruition. I hope it's the next project that we get to see. Rian Johnson seems to be a pretty busy man nowadays. Making a lot of... Yeah. I don't know. He loves the craft. He loves the craft for sure. But anyway, Max, I appreciate that, man. And Lord Twiggo, hello, Greedo. Would you like a Old Republic era trilogy or saga as long as Disney does it right? I would love to see ancient Sith and Jedi fight, especially Revan. Sorry, man. I'm taking a quick sip of the old water. Super thirsty this evening. We had breakfast for dinner. I whipped up a ton of bacon, pancakes, and sweet potato hash browns. It was good. And I think the bacon has made me super thirsty. Anyway, Lord Twiggo, you know, for me, man, and I understand why everybody would want, or a lot of people would want that kind of stuff. For me, an Old Republic movie or series would be interesting. I would welcome that wholeheartedly. I would love it to be a little bit of a kind of a political thriller. People vying for power, you know, sabotage, all sorts of stuff like that would be really interesting to me. It's something similar to Bloodline, even the novel Bloodline would be really interesting, set in the Old Republic. So yes, I would like something like that. That being said, with characters that we already know, right? Like Revan, I don't want any characters we already know to be in this movie or this series. That doesn't interest me. I don't continuously want characters to, especially like characters from video games or books or something like that, to be, I don't know why, it's some weird thing in my head, but it would feel very weird to me to have like a TV show that's based around a character or a story from a video game or a book or something like that, you know what I mean? I don't know why. It's just, you know, Star Wars movies, at least, have always been not based on anything. They're newly invented stuff, and then everything else is invented around the movies to fill in gaps. So I would love an Old Republic thing. It wouldn't be my first choice. I would kind of go with an era or timeline that has never been explored before and perhaps has never been invented in canon. I think an idea like that would be way more interesting to me than just kind of going into an era that we're already vaguely familiar with, or many of us are extremely familiar with. I would rather have something completely fresh. But, that being said, I would welcome an Old Republic movie or series with open arms for sure. And I would like some, like, political, as I said, political thriller would be very interesting to me. It'd be fun. Be different. But yeah. I appreciate that, Twiggo. And French Canadian Wolfman, good to see you. WTF Dooku. What the Dooku prequel quote? As you can see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours. After shooting Force Lightning, the Force is not a power Jedi have. Luke and TLJ. Also, Force Lightning is a Sith move. Is it, well, didn't we see Yoda do Sith, or didn't we see Yoda do lightning? Or was that a ball? No, he reflected lightning, didn't he? Wait, what did he do? Did he fart lightning? Yoda lightning. I'm not thinking of shooting lightning from the sky. Okay, he absorbed it and shot it back, right? Okay. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought of that. Is that the first time? That can't be the first time that we've ever seen a Jedi or somebody more pulled towards the light shoot lightning, right? As you can see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours after shooting Force lightning. Is it not a power Jedi have? Well, I guess that's interesting. I've actually never even thought of that, Wolfman. Force, I'm gonna look this up. Force. But not true Sith. A Jedi suffering, let's see, Jedi. Dark Jedi. Nope, I don't want to listen to a... Oh, cool, Clorox. Clorox commercial in my ear. Awesome, Wikipedia. Really neato. Interesting. Oh, no. Yeah, no. I wasn't thinking... I wasn't saying that Yoda shot lightning in TLJ. When I looked at the screenshots, when I typed in Yoda lightning, that was the only thing that came up in images. Well, not the only thing. So I didn't want to get it confused. But interesting. I've never actually thought about that, Wolfman. I'm going to have to look into that. Plo Koon has a Force Lightning technique, actually. Really? Okay, so... Plo Koon can't use Force Lightning. The only media in which this ability was suggested was the PlayStation game Jedi Power Battles, which was a sort of co-op arcade game version of the Phantom Menace. In addition to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, players could use Mace Windu, Adi Gallia, and Plo Koon. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to look that up. That might actually be a forbidden power. It's not that they couldn't do it, but maybe it's a forbidden power. Interesting. Oh, one sec.
My hopes on the non-movie things. Alphabet Squadron, Shadowfall, the Kenobi series, whatever the Project Luminous stuff is, etc.
Mr. Andy, thank you so much. Good to see you, man. Called Force Judgment. All right, give me one sec, Wolfman. I'm going to actually go down a little rabbit hole, and this might be an interesting video topic, to tell you the truth. I don't often do very many like lore videos or anything resembling that too often, but this is something that I might find a little interesting. Force Lightning Jedi. Okay, so I actually created a folder so I will not miss it next time I go to my old HelloGreedo folder. That might be an interesting topic of discussion for a future video, but anyway, I appreciate that, man. So, who did I miss? Carter Lovejoy, Carols, the French-Canadian Wolfman once again, Mr. Andy, and Caretaker Wanted. Thank you guys so much for the super chats this evening. I appreciate that. Carter Lovejoy says, it's funny how most people praise Mando heavily because of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, but do they realize KK with the hate around her was involved with the show as well? Very selective scapegoating for sure, right? When you dislike something in the Star Wars franchise, it's easy to scapegoat people or claim that somebody is destroying the legacy of something. Which, holy shit, man! When I was writing this script today, about critic reviews and audience scores and how they differ so widely, so many people in the audience reviews talked about destroying a legacy and used words like that, right? It was very interesting to me, and you could have changed the name of the movie, and they could have been talking about George Lucas and people in the early 2000s and late 90s, right? It's very interesting to me. So, yeah, it's very selective blaming. It's really interesting to me. When something's great, it's because of somebody else. When something's not great, it's not because of anybody else, it's because of her. It's like, and, I mean, it's weird to me, man. Like, if she's the ultimate puppet master on one side, isn't she the ultimate puppet master on the other side? And in my head, I'm like, she probably doesn't have too much to do with a lot of the, the story progression, right? I don't know. It's weird, man. But there's always somebody to blame, right? There's always somebody to blame. There's always somebody to praise. A lot of people like Favreau and Filoni's past work, obviously. There's a reason behind that. So it makes sense that people are praising them for success and things that they like. So I don't know. It's that might actually be a kind of interesting topic of discussion too for a video. The old scapegoating of Star Wars people. Oh, it's happened forever. Oh, it's happened forever. But I appreciate that, man. And Carol's L.O. Progress? Oh, Carol's L.O. Progress. Is that really your name? That's a pretty badass name. Carols, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I want a re-release of A New Hope, but every single scene ends with someone saying McClunky. Oh, somebody should get on that as a parody video on YouTube. You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. Shows Tarkin. He says, McClunky. Death Star blows. There is no question in my mind. Somebody needs to make that. Some stupid video like that, I think, would do really well. If somebody can do a good impression of like all these characters, I think a video like that, if anybody wants to make that listening right now, Andy, I know you got a YouTube channel, you can get on this shit. I think a video like that would honestly do really, really well. It would instantly get copywritten, but I think a video like that would do really, really well. And if I had more time, I'd probably cut it up and do it myself, but somebody else with better impressions and more time could absolutely knock it out. McClunky Carols, thank you so much for the support this evening. I love the idea. There is no reason in my mind that somebody can't make a stupid 5-minute clip of that stuff happening. But yeah, release the McClunky cut. There you go. I appreciate that, Sammy. But anyway, Carols, thank you so much for the support this evening. Maybe that idea just got tossed out into the universe and somebody will make it. I'd like to see that for sure. But yeah. And Mr. Wolfman Plo Koon has a force. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I made the video or the folder for the video, and as soon as I do a little bit of research, that might be an interesting topic of discussion, you know. So, and Mr. Andy Star Wars Ramblings. I'm really hanging a lot of hopes on the non-movie things. Alphabet Squadron, Shadowfall. Dude, I still haven't read Alphabet Squadron. It's kind of the number one book. Well, I have 3 books that I want to read right now in the Star Wars canon. I want to read Alphabet Squadron. I want to read Master and Apprentice. And I still need to read Lost Stars. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's Lost Stars, right? Yeah. I was thinking Last Shot. Lost Stars, Star Wars. Yep. Those 3 books are the 3 books that I need to read, or want to read rather. I've heard that, you know, I'd like Alphabet Squadron just for the aviation and the fun, you know, the dogfights and that kind of stuff. I think that would be great. It'd be right up my alley. So, anyway, the Kenobi series, whatever the Project Luminous stuff is, etc. Yeah, I don't know what I'm most excited for right now, Andy. I mean, you know me. When it comes to Star Wars, for me, it's very difficult to beat a big screen production. And just the unknown of what's coming down the pike in the future is enough to get me almost more excited for like season 2 of Mandalorian. Just that complete unknown, knowing that they're working on something, but the complete unknown of what's coming. It kind of gets me more excited than anything. It's kind of like we're starting over. We know there's new stuff coming, and we're back to square one, like pre The Force Awakens. And it's just all build up from here, all unknowns, all new stories to tell. And yeah, I can't wait to see what comes out. But yeah, Andy, thank you for reminding me about Alphabet Squadron. I have it on my Amazon wish list. I just need to end up pulling the trigger, and let me see how much that is on my Kindle. Let's see, Alphabet Squadron, Amazon. Oh, it's $6 on the Kindle. Nice. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll pick that up. My wife's going out of town this week. Oh, so is Master and Apprentice. Wait, is that right? No, Master and Apprentice. Oh, Master and Apprentice is available paperback for $6. Oh, interesting. I only read digital nowadays. I've gone to the dark side. I've gone to the convenient side. That's what it is. But yeah, anyway. I did download the Honor Harrington novel, whatever the first one's called. Did I? Is that the one that I downloaded, or was it the other one that you suggested? Let me look it up. Where is the novels? Yep. I downloaded it. I downloaded it the night that you recommended it to me, and I read maybe like 20 pages, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I have not charged my Kindle up or taken it out of my side table since then. For whatever reason, man. I just like lately we've been going to bed so late, and I just, in the past, I would bring out my Kindle for like 30 minutes and read a chapter, but lately I haven't had a chance to, or had the desire to pull it out. But I really enjoyed what I read. I can't really remember what I read, but I remember being intrigued by it and enjoying it. So I would like to finish something like that, right? I'd like to finish something like that before I jump to another Star Wars book, because I need space between my Star Wars. I can't read back-to-back Star Wars books. I need, I need different. I need variation. So maybe I'll finish that before I jump to Alphabet Squadron. But I appreciate that, man. Hope you're having a good middle of the week. Called Force Judgment. Wolfman, Force Judgment. First of all, thank you so much for the support this evening. Force Judgment. Electric Judgment. Is that what it is? Force Judgment. Also called Electric Judgment. Okay. Also known as Emerald Lightning. So there's 3 names for this. Force Judgment, Electric Judgment, also known as Emerald Lightning. Was a force technique used by the Jedi to spray electric bolts of variable intensity from the hands and fingers. Am I the, like... Everyone uses their phone. Oh my god. Everyone uses their phone. Yeah. I don't need your advertisement playing. Let's regulate a little bit of advertising here, and not allow audio to play on videos on websites, right? Come on now. What was I gonna say? That completely threw me off. Okay, so cool. Am I the only one that, like, whenever force powers that are so kind of over the top, I don't know, superhero-y, crazy big, force powers, the more grand and huge they get, the less I kind of like it. As I said in my tweet the other day, I like my force really subdued and subtle. I like it more, I don't know how to explain it, more Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back, and whenever the force gets turned into like a superpower delivery system, I don't know why, it just always has kind of been a big shrug of the shoulders to me, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm one of those original trilogy fanboy assholes. But yeah, I'll look into it for sure, Canadian Wolfman. And Caretaker Wanted. Thank you so much as well. The Empire was stupid in Return of the Jedi because they didn't build the shield generator inside the Death Star. If that was the case, both would have been impenetrable. Yeah, there's so many examples. It's hilarious to me when people kind of poke holes in a lot of that kind of similar stuff that happens in the sequel trilogy. Because there's a lot of stupid shit like that, right? Caretaker Wanted in the originals. The thing that I always point to is like AT-ATs. I mean, they're awesome. They're menacing. But in this world where things fly at the speed of light and, you have insane travel and your weaponry is ridiculous and you can blow shit up from orbit, would you really deploy these slow-ass marching walkers to get to the base? I mean, maybe, but it's just kind of funny whenever you hear holes poked in strategy and whatnot from these armchair generals on the internet. I always look at things of the past, right? Like, look at the Phantom Menace. There is a Civil War battle where 2 sides are standing just right in front of each other and marching right towards one another to death. I mean, okay. Everybody lands just literally right in front of one another. You got a bunch of battle droids coming towards a bunch of Gungans, and they're loading muskets. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, shield generator inside the Death Star, and then when some goofy nonsense like that happens, and something that I guess just carries there to carry the plot, Caretaker, and give our characters something to do. There's going to be some non-film material to explain why they needed to put the shield generator outside of the Death Star. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, Caretaker. I appreciate that, man. And French-Canadian Wolfman. Oh, Electric Judgment. Okay, you corrected yourself. I found it. I found it before I even saw that. But I appreciate the hell out of the support this evening, man. And Tom Ferrara. Good to see you. Did Kylo Ren ever get to have sex and eat nachos again? Nachos? What is this? Nachos. Kylo Ren. Is nothing going to come up? Kylo Ren is about to eat nachos. Kylo Ren loves nachos. What the hell? Kylo Ren is about to eat nachos. What is this? Kylo Ren loves nachos. Is it a YouTube video? Video unavailable. Harry Potter doesn't seem... Okay. I understood that reference. Vince understood it. Man, I'm so out of the loop. What is it from? What is it from? Kylo Ren eating nachos. There's a lot of like videos and... It's a film with Adam Driver and Daniel Radcliffe. Okay. What is this movie? Fortress of Solitude. Nope, that is the uploader. Kylo Ren has breakfast with Harry Potter. It's a reference to another movie Adam Driver was in. Okay. What was it? The Boy Who Can? Is that what it's called? The Boy Who Can? My wife watched Marriage Story the other night. Nope, it's not called The Boy Who Can. That was a 1986 film. What is this movie called? Like, everybody is posting pictures of it, and nobody's saying what this movie is. What movie is it? What is this? It's called What If? Okay, What If movie.
There's been no confirmation, but the rumors of a 400 BBY High Republic film or trilogy sounds interesting to me. I definitely want some distance from the Skywalker saga.
I agree, A3. I appreciate that, man. Give me one sec. Give me 1 sec. I'm a little slow here. I've been looking up a bunch of nonsense with this What If movie. I've never heard of this. Oh, it has the girl from Stranger Things in it. Yeah, I've never heard of this. Might have to check this out. Oh, and this Mackenzie Davis, where have I seen her before? Okay, The Martian and Blade Runner. Yep, okay. Didn't see Tully. Alright, I'll watch the breakfast clip after this stream. How about that? Anyway, I appreciate you bringing something new to my attention, Tom. I'll have to check that out and get the reference. I haven't watched... It's kind of funny, man. My wife is going out of town this weekend, like I said. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? You know, I want to watch some movies. And I bought a HDMI cord that's 10 feet long that runs through my wall just to plug in my Xbox into the living room. And I plan on just playing Red Dead all night. And then I thought about it. I'm really in the mood to watch First Man. I've seen that. I'm really in the mood to watch the Apollo 11 documentary. I've seen that twice already. But I want to see it a third time. So I might have a night where all I do is watch movies that I've already seen. Space movie. Have an Apollo night. Have an Apollo evening, a NASA evening with a bowl of popcorn and some beers and myself on the old happy couch. I might do that. That sounds like a pretty enjoyable evening. Anyway, why did I go down that road? Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Here Late may have talked about it. Rumored that new trilogy/saga will take place in the High Republic era. Is years before the Phantom Menace uncharted territory. Is that an unnamed era? Is that High Republic era? Interesting. Okay, so is that an unnamed era? I've never heard of that era before. I did hear the about the High Republic era. I believe it was on Twitter, but before that, I don't know if I had ever heard of that. Is that a brand new era? If that's the case, A3 just said something very similar. So I'm gonna read A3's right now and kind of bridge those two. A3 said there's been no confirmation, but the rumors of a 400 BBY High Republic film or trilogy sounds interesting to me. I definitely want some distance from the Skywalker saga. So yeah, Vince and A3. as a concept. If that timeline is where we're, is where the next films are gonna lie, I'm all for it. In A3, you kind of hit the nail on the head with me as well. A little, not necessarily distance, but I just want something different, right? And in an era that's unexplored like that is way more interesting than getting an Old Republic or a Revan or whatever series or trilogy or whatnot. So I love the idea of uncharted territory. I think that's where kind of the innovation lies, not being hamstrung by what came before or what is known. And I would love that. That's kind of an ideal situation for me, having a completely unknown era and territory be the spotlight of future Star Wars. So I'm all for it. But I appreciate that, Vince, in A3. I won't, I'm not going to report on that in terms of a video. I don't really play the rumor game. One sec.
Hell yes, brother.
Hell yes, Jonathan. Dude, I got 2 posters in my office. Well, 3 posters. I got one of my daughter hanging. If you go on my Twitter, I posted a picture today of my office. I finally started to get it put together. I did some cable management. So I cleaned it out, got rid of boxes, made it looking decent. There's a lot of empty space, but I have 3 pictures rather. Behind me in the picture that I took is a picture of my daughter. All my family pictures are going to be on the wall that you never see. And then the pictures that you see in that photo, one of them is a print that my buddy mailed me. I've known this guy since I was 13, 14 years old, and we've been best friends since. And he mailed me this Apollo poster that he saw. He collects prints and stuff like that. And I love it. I had to hang it. The other picture that I have on the wall that you see in that photo is a solar system kind of diagram of how the solar system, the configuration of the solar system on the day my daughter was born, where the planets were on the day my daughter was born. So kind of neat. So hell yeah, NASA night. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Give me one sec, man. I will further elaborate on an old NASA night. But I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Next super chat comes from Wayfez. Ray, I am all the Jedi. Palpatine McClunky dies. There you go, Wayfez. Somebody needs to make this. I mean, you have to wait till The Rise of Skywalker comes out to rip that footage, but on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. But somebody needs to make that video, Wayfez. Who brought that idea up? Was it Carol's? Yeah, Carol's. Somebody needs to do that. I can absolutely see that being a huge hit on the old YouTube, where every kind of major catastrophe or character death or something surprising either starts or ends with somebody saying McClunky. You could even do that goofy thing where I think Conan used to do it. Conan O'Brien on a show. Yeah, he definitely did. Where he used to like green screen somebody's face and just crop their mouth into somebody's face. Do you remember that skit that he used to do? Hilarious. Conan's, oh man, I think he's my favorite late night host of all time. But somebody could even do that, like crop their mouth over Tarkin's mouth or something like that. McClunky, all sorts of shit. Make it. Wayfez, you're making it. You're in charge. You make that video. But I appreciate that support this evening, man. And Tom Ferrara, thank you so much for the super chat once again this evening, man. I appreciate it. Do you prefer Legends or Canon? So, for me, I prefer Canon. And that's not to say, and the main reason behind that, Tom, is because I didn't really jump into a lot of Legends stuff. I read like Heir to the Empire back in the day, read Shadows of the Empire. I read some basic stuff, nothing crazy. I didn't really read too many Star Wars books. In terms of novels, I read a couple Han Solo books that were, I believe they were published in the 70s. Let me look that up, actually. I could be wrong. Han Solo. There's one book that's orange, has an orange cover. Han Solo's Revenge. Yeah, Han Solo's Revenge, 1979. So I've read a few of those. But that was when I was like younger than a teenager, man. I think I was in elementary school, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, and so just for the sake of what I've paid attention to more, Canon. I like the cohesion behind it. And it all boils down to me not really paying too much attention to a lot of legend stuff of the past, you know. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would disagree with me, and understandably so, because I didn't really dive too deep into it. So, but for me, Canon. Coming from a completely ignorant place. But I appreciate that, man. Star Wars Story, thank you so much for the super chat channel support this evening as well. You should live stream commentary whilst watching Star Wars. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like a live commentary. Like, we could all come on here and I could say, you know, hit play, 3, 2, 1, and we could all start like A New Hope together. That's not a bad idea. Oh, my daughter might be crying. Let me text my wife, see if she's crying. My wife had a phone conference tonight. So I might have to go grab the baby monitor if she's crying. Let me just see. So yeah, Star Wars Story. I like that idea in theory. I think if I ever did something like that, I would absolutely have to like turn off super chats and notifications and stuff like that, and just really put my nose in the movie and just solely pay attention to the microphone and not pay attention to the chat whatsoever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like that as a theory, as a concept. But if I think I would rather, in terms of commentary, I would rather do a commentary the conventional way, you know. I think I would rather do commentary the conventional way, like just record audio. It's kind of funny, Star Wars Story. I did a commentary for, I believe it was Rogue One. I'm pretty positive it was Rogue One. I did a commentary for Rogue One, and I don't know how. I had headphones on. I guess the headphones were a little too loud, and you could, I guess, pick it up on the microphone, but you could barely hear it. It was like a whisper, like barely hear it. But YouTube recognized Rogue One audio and you know, took that video down immediately. It was really interesting to me, because you couldn't make out audio, but you could, I mean, if you turned up your volume all the way, you could hear that something was going on in the background. So I'd have to do it a little different next time. Be a little more cautious of, I guess, how loud my headphones are, which sounds weird to say, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that Star Wars Story. And Vince Wynn, let me take a quick sip of the old water. There we go. Vince Wynn, thank you for the super chat and channel support. What type of character do you enjoy seeing most? Always loved Eastwood's Man with No Name. And Mifune, I'm not too sure how to pronounce that, so I really enjoy Mando as a character. For me, I love a good fish out of water character. You got your Frodo. You got your Luke. You have your Harry Potters. You have your Marty McFlys. Even I love a good. And it is a huge trope, don't get me wrong, it's been done to death. But I love a good fish out of water character. And I think that's why most films that are like part of trilogies or franchises or sagas, most, you know, usually the first film in those types of franchises or trilogies or sagas is my favorite, because I like that fish out of water. Even like Will Smith's character in Men in Black, a character like that, right? Fish out of water, coming into a situation completely unknown and new. I think it's charming. You know, the audience has an opportunity to learn alongside the character what's going on. I've always liked that as a character, you know, and it's been done to death, but there's a reason, because A, like I said, is charming, and B, it gives an opportunity to kind of teach the audience what's going on, and we go on a journey with this character, you know. So those are usually my favorite types of characters. And then like in the sequels or whatnot of whatever franchise, you know, you can think of, to me it loses a little bit of the charm, because we have a character that knows a lot about something already, and now it's kind of lost that charm to me. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. How do you manage to get up at 4 a.m.? Navy, man. I credit my lack of sleep and my ability to not crash just to Navy. I was actually talking to a guy I know recently. We were talking about P days, processing days, and first week of boot camp, you're up for like 48 or 72 hours. We were trying to remember how long we were up for, but it was a long time. Training, right? But yeah. Star Wars story, thank you so much once again. Say what you want about the sequel trilogy. The prequel trilogy didn't actually expand on the Force. It only talked about or showed what we already knew. I suppose so. I guess you have the kind of expository dialogue from Palpatine when he's talking to Anakin about I guess midichlorians. We learn about midichlorians, I guess. There's certain aspects I think we learn. Take it or leave it, I guess. And then there's things that, well, I guess I'm trying to think. Oh. Okay. All right, my daughter's asleep. I just got the text. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. There's things like that super fast sprint that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon did at the beginning of the Phantom Menace. Silly stuff like that gets added. But overall, like you brought up the prequels and the sequels. To me, The Last Jedi expanded on the Force and kind of brought the Force back to what I love about the Force, you know. I love the dialogue from Luke, not only about the Force, but also about kind of the history of the Jedi. You know, do you feel that power? I can't remember what he says. And he says, that power does not belong to you or me or the Jedi. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was interesting. Expanding on not only the Force, but also kind of failures of the past and that kind of stuff. I found all that extremely interesting. But anyway, I appreciate that Star Wars story. And Carol's LO Progress, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. There's a deleted scene in ESB where Dengar goes to the bathroom after Vader talks to the bounty hunters on the destroyer, but his bandages get caught when he flushes and it chokes him to death. Canon, Carols. Is that a skit that you have seen? Let me look that up. Dengar bathroom. I just pictured it. Nope, that is Dengar ship, robot chicken. I highly doubt he goes to the bathroom. Oh, it does look like a toilet. Is that a toilet? It is a toilet. In Robot Chicken, Carols, if you're interested, Google Dengar ship, robot chicken. In this clip from Robot Chicken, Dengar's spaceship is a toilet. I missed that show. I haven't watched that show, and I'm assuming they still don't make episodes, right? Anyway. But I appreciate that, Carols. And my name is play on Carousel of Progress. Oh, nice. Oh. Carols L. Oh, Progress. Dude, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Hell yeah. Dude, Carousel of Progress. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've been on that ride. I only live 2 hours away from Disney. Grew up going there. And the Carousel of Progress is one of those rides that I love. It's you know, as a kid I would ride it, and there'd be the final act of the ride. You see the family of the future, and that always like just unlocked my imagination. I thought I absolutely love that ride. So hell yeah, Carousel of Progress. I'm moving to Orlando in 3 weeks. Oh, nice. I'm going to be working for Disney. Oh, congrats, man. That's really cool. I lived in Orlando for about a year going to school before I dropped out and enlisted in the old Navy. I lived in Winter Park. So, but that's cool, man. Hell yeah. Carousel of Progress. Well, now I know what to call you. Not Carols. Carousel of Progress. I appreciate that, man. And Thornton Wager, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. It's good to see you. I want something weird and philosophical, like a mix of KOTOR 2 and Evangelion. I don't know how to pronounce that. What is that? Evangelion. Anime. Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Top choice for directors are Sam Esmail or Denis Villeneuve. I can't remember how to pronounce that. Villeneuve. So in terms of directors, just because I love his stuff, I tend to kind of go towards Danny Boyle would be my go-to Star Wars director if I could pick a director, just because I love his visual storytelling. I've enjoyed every single movie that I've seen of his. His movie 127 Hours is in my top 10 movies of all time. So I'm with you, Thornton. I want something weird and philosophical too. I want something to go down that route. I love the idea, that the concept that I continuously bring up about, going into the far past with a Star Wars film or series of TV, like a TV show or something like that, and following people that first discovered the Force. I think there's a lot of philosophical lessons and interesting ideas that could be dissected in something like that. So, I think eventually, Thornton, Star Wars TV shows or movies I would like to see them branch out and do more just very unique and different stuff. Everybody always says, well, it feels like Star Wars. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? It feels like Star Wars. Well, shit, I want some stuff that doesn't necessarily feel like the stuff that I've already seen, right? There's a lot of wiggle room that you can do with Star Wars. A lot of new and interesting ideas you can come up with. But yeah, I'm with you, Thornton. No, I've never played KOTOR 2. I take that back. I'm sure I've played it. I know I owned it on the PC. I probably didn't put more than a couple hours into it, to tell you the truth. And I've never seen that show, so... Or that movie. What is that? Yeah, it's a show. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Thornton. I hope you're having a good one, man. In Star Wars story, once again, thank you so much. I'd love a movie about the first Jedi taking place a very, very long time ago. Could have ancient China samurai sci-fi vibes, the Last Airbender style. Well, you kind of hit me with you kind of are talking about a very similar thing that I've been talking about for like years on this channel. I want something like that too. I think a part of me really wants it. A part of me doesn't, because it would kind of ruin a lot of mystery. But the idea of going back in time, and maybe you've heard me talk about this before, and a lot of you guys probably have, so I apologize for mulching over the same shit here, but I love the idea of going way back in time. One sec. Sorry, guys. I'm going to text my wife back. Yeah, she's going out of town this weekend. She's asking where the luggage is and stuff like that. It's probably in the garage, all over the place. So yeah, Star Wars story. I would love to have a series of films, go way back in time, and we take a look at the first people who discovered the Force, because I've always thought about the Force as kind of like gravity, where it's always been there. It just took somebody to kind of discover it and understand it and grasp it, right? So I would love a series to kind of tackle the first Force users, or not the first people to discover the Force. You would have factions splintering. Some people would want to kind of harbor it for their own personal gain. Some people would want to democratize it and spread it across the galaxy, and believing that everybody should know about this Force, this power, this thing that's out in the universe, and then you would have people that would want to destroy it, the knowledge of it, destroy it, just fearing that it would get into the wrong hands, right? Something like that would be extremely interesting to me. And you could go back and do something like Thornton said, philosophical, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that Star Wars story. And Jonathan Evans, hell yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat this evening. A NASA night? Hell yes, brother. Hell yes, indeed. So let me take a quick sip. A NASA night is... I'm like space obsessive, Jonathan. I love the science of it. Astronomy has always been a fascination to me, but I also love space exploration, the history of it. Fascinated by the Mercury 7, Gemini and Apollo, Skylab, everything. I've seen numerous shuttle launches back in the day, and it's a lifelong obsession. I own almost every Carl Sagan book, if not all of them. I need to look at my collection. So, a NASA night is right up my alley. And I think, Jonathan, my plan, either Friday or Saturday night, depending on if my buddy wants to play some games with me, is to watch the Apollo 11 documentary, which I've already seen twice, and then watch First Man, which I've already seen. So just a night where I've already seen something, and I can just have some beers on the couch and pop some popcorn and watch some fun stuff. But hell yeah, Jonathan. My office, like I said earlier, I have an Apollo poster. I have a diagram of the solar system on the day my daughter was born. But I want to get a lot of not just Star Wars stuff. That was a problem with the way my old office used to be like 3 years ago. It was nothing but like Star Wars stuff and a couple movie things that I like. I want my new office to be a lot cleaner, as it used to be before I moved. But also I want more things on the wall. The problem with my old office that I liked it, I loved it. It was very clean and simple, but I didn't have anything on the walls. Nothing on the walls. And I want to change that. I want to add some pop, a little flair. Things that I'm into. Not overdo it like I used to, like 5 years ago, dude. If you guys remember my old office from like 5 years ago, there was no method to the madness on what I hung on the wall. I just grabbed the nail and started hammering. It was chaos. It was cool at first. I was like, oh, awesome. I got all these posters and shit and like action figures on shelves. But then like after a year of that, I looked at it and I was like, this is junky. And I ripped it all down, repainted the walls, and just made a spaceship. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. All right. And Stephanie Hayner, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. You sound like Patrick Warburton. Agree/disagree. I don't... Am I going to recognize him? The name doesn't sound... Oh. I should have known this guy. Oh, interesting. Maybe. I've never heard anybody tell me that before, Stephanie. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Jersey Devils. Oh, that's funny. Man, I've never heard anybody... nobody's ever said that to me. But I guess I can hear it in certain inflections, I suppose. I bet I could do a decent impression of him. I would need to listen to some of his voice again just to get a refresher. Interesting. Stephanie, I appreciate that. I'm going to have to listen to a little bit of Patrick Warburton. Get a little feel for his voice. That's a horrible impression. But I appreciate that, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And Vince Wynn, favorite TNG episode. You know, I don't have a favorite. It's very difficult for me to pick a favorite. But one of my I will say this. One of my favorites is where Data, they rescue a kid from a destroyed ship. And I believe he was the only survivor. I don't know the name of this episode. He was the only survivor on this ship. And he gets attached to Data. He kind of sees Data as almost a father figure. And Data has to kind of care for this kid. Brings out some of Data's humanity, if you want to say it like that. The kid kind of begins to act like Data, wanting to be like him, kind of emulating Data's characteristics, because he finds comfort in Data. Whenever there's Data-heavy episodes, I love them. They're I think they're my favorite episodes. Whenever kind of we're learning more, because Data is a character that Data is a reflection of humanity. He is the fish out of water who is learning about humanity, and we get to see humanity's quirks through his eyes, right? So whenever there's a Data episode where he's kind of learning about I don't know, emotions, or trying to understand what makes certain people tick, or whenever he's comforting somebody or something, like the pretty cat, his Data-heavy episodes are some of my favorite, just because it's a mirror. He is a mirror for the audience to kind of look at their own humanity. I love it. So no particular favorite, Vince, but I will say that certainly whenever Data is kind of front and center, and the episode is about Data, they're probably my favorite. That being said, Klingon episodes, fuck off. Like, most Klingon episodes I do not care about, unless they're like Picard heavy, or Picard is trying to like understand culture and stuff like that. That's interesting. But whenever we just have pure Klingon episodes, I don't give a shit. Like, they're my least favorite episodes by far. So anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Jordan Thomas, sup Greedo, you think other genres would work for Star Wars, like a detective drama or a Star Trek / BSG style show following crew of a Star Destroyer? Yes, absolutely. I don't think anything is off limits for Star Wars, Jordan, especially for the future of Star Wars. Because, yeah, I mean, Star Wars is romance, Star Wars is action, Star Wars is adventure, Star Wars is so many things, and I think a detective drama would be awesome in Star Wars, Jordan. A detective, that would be so awesome. Trying to figure out a crime, or I would love that. I love that idea, Jordan. That would fit so well and be such a fun, unique, refreshing spin on things for sure. In terms of like Star Trek, I guess like an exploratory show. Yes, absolutely. You know, you could have a crew that's exploring the Outer Rim, exploring uncharted space. Something like that would be really interesting. So, for the future of Star Wars, Jordan, I firmly believe that, well, obviously we can't go tit for tat with Empire and Rebels forever and just change their names. I think for the freshness and the future of the franchise, you're going to have to start tackling other genres like that. Or just kind of fizzle away. I don't, you know, whenever, I said this earlier, but whenever people say, that felt like Star Wars, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I want Star Wars to kind of branch out into other things and try to, I don't know, try new and interesting ideas, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Jordan. And Dylan Compton, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well, man. First time donating, long time fan ever since you first donned McClunky mask. Nice. What happened? That's a long time ago. What happened to the bucket when you're not wearing it? Thanks, Greedo. Well, first of all, I hope you're still here. I'm extremely long-winded, Dylan, and I tend to ramble on and on with each answer. That's just the nature of the beast, of the brain, I suppose. So I appreciate you sticking around if you're still here. If you're not, I apologize for just running my mouth for so long. It shows that you sent that 21 minutes ago, so I appreciate the hell out of the support this evening, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. What happens to the bucket when you're not wearing it? It's literally sitting on my desk right now. I don't know what to do with it. Oftentimes, man, like, it's just kind of there, and it's I like a very clean desk and a very clean office. I don't like very many things on display, especially big things like a Stormtrooper helmet or a Vader helmet or stuff like that. So most of the time, it's just sitting on my desk, and I need to find a space for it. I have a closet now. We moved into a new house, you know. I have a closet now, decent amount of space. I'm gonna put some shelves up in it just to be able to store my Stormtrooper helmets so they're out of the way and behind a door. I have a Jar Jar mask. I have a TIE Pilot helmet. I have a Greedo mask. I have a Stormtrooper helmet. I have a Darth Vader helmet, and I want to put them all, you know, behind the door, just to keep things clutter-free, if that makes sense. Well, you have a Stormtrooper helmet, put it on display. I know. I get it. I know. It's just some weird thing in my brain where I just need to have everything very, very clean and not cluttered. I like waking up at 4 in the morning, making a cup of coffee, coming into my office, turning on my LED lights, and being in a spaceship. Just this complete clutter-free, like, writing zone just puts me in the right mood. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Dylan. Thank you so much for the support this evening, man. In Star Wars story, if not HG, what would your YouTube name be? Oh, goodbye, Han. I really don't know, man. Probably something like similar to your channel, to tell you the truth. I probably would have named it like Star Wars News or something like that. It probably would have a hell of a bigger following. It's kind of funny for me to think about that kind of stuff. Like, you got your Star Wars HQs, you got your Star Wars theories, you got your Star Wars explained. I believe those are the three biggest, like, solely Star Wars channels on YouTube. I believe. I could be wrong about that. And they all start with Star Wars, and it's just like, I was like, oh man, why did I name myself HelloGreedo, you dipshit? I mean, I love the name. I wouldn't change it for anything, but what would I name it? I really don't know, man. There's the story behind the name isn't that exciting. I you know, I used to go on this website called Justin TV, and I believe it turned into Twitch, and it was like one of the first live streaming things. And I used to turn on my webcam and put my Greedo mask on and act like a complete idiot. My name on there was HelloGreedo. I don't know why I named it that. It just flowed off the tip of my tongue really nicely. I liked the way it sounded. And I just decided to use that as my YouTube name too. So, not Goodbye Han, probably something like Star Wars News or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Vince, when do you scare easy with movies? No, I don't. Not at all. It's not at all. I've never been even like actually talk about it in Sorry About the Mess in the book, Vince, where I had there on 2 occasions I had a sleepover. And we were super young. I was probably 8 years old when we watched Alien with my friends. What am I hearing? One sec, guys. Let me open my door and listen real quick. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Patrick Warburton. So yeah. No, Vince, I actually talk about that in Sorry About the Mess. I was probably 8 years old, and I had my buddies over for a sleepover, and we watched the first Alien, and my buddy actually puked, and his mom came and picked him up. There was another sleepover where we watched Candyman, and my buddy puked because the bees were wallowing around in Tony Todd's mouth. And I never understood it because they're movies, and it's, you know, it's so no, I've never been one to scare. I mean, you have tense moments, right? But I've never been one to lose sleep. But yeah, Vince, I haven't seen Candyman in so long. Probably not since that night, to tell you the truth. Oh my god, I haven't seen that in so long. Candyman. Uh, 1992. In the book, I actually say the bees weren't really wallowing around in Tony Todd's mouth, but as soon as I clicked publish on the book, I thought about that line, and I thought, you know what? I bet they were. I haven't looked into that. Were they really in Tony Todd's mouth? The bees in the film were bred specifically to appear on screen, so they were. They were in his mouth. Okay, there's a book mistake right there. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. In Star Wars Story, here's my viewing order for your daughter when she's older to make the ESB plot twist way more effective. Episode 1, 2, The Clone Wars. She'll grow up loving Anakin. Skip episode 3 and show her Rogue One and A New Hope. She'll wonder what happened to Anakin, who Vader is, then show her ESB afterwards. Show her episode 3 and Rebels. I can see Star Wars Story. I could see how that would work. I could see how that would work, but don't they use the name Anakin in A New Hope? Oh wait, but that is kind of an interest. That is a oh wow, dude. Is that like a viewing order that? Oh, that's a pretty cool order. I've never thought about that Star Wars story. So if you watch episode 1 and episode 2, skip episode 3, show her Rogue One: A New Hope. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It would be super confusing for sure, Cal. But I like that because you kind of skip over the first reveal. I mean, all that could just be avoided with release order, in my opinion. I'm going to show my daughter release order, but that's kind of a cool way to prolong someone not knowing what Anakin becomes. Interesting. I like that Star Wars story. That's kind of an interesting reason for viewing it that way. Huh. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm sure that there's a name for that viewing order maybe, but that's cool. I like that. And Eduardo Ribeiro, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Hey man, loved your vid. Your ideas about Rise of Skywalker. Generic is a good way to describe it. Rise of Skywalker reminds me of the last movies of the franchise like Terminator or X-Men. Keep up the good work. There we go. Yeah, thank you so much for the kind words, man. Yeah, like after I saw it, I was talking to my buddy and generic was the word that we kept using. It to me, a lot of people like it, and I get it. We all like different aspects of Star Wars, and we all, Star Wars is different for everybody. But for me, it did feel like I was just watching a big, like shallow, typical generic blockbuster. That was just kind of nothing really to it. And in my opinion, Eduardo, as I said in my Rise of Skywalker, my first video, I kind of predicted the Rotten Tomatoes score when I left the theater. And it seems like I tend to usually agree with critics, and this was a case of me doing that as well. I often agree way more with critics in any movie than I do with the audience score when they're so kind of divided, as they often are nowadays. But anyway, I don't know why I started talking about that, but yeah, Eduardo, I agree. It just kind of like generic is I think the perfect way to describe it, at least from my perspective, just because and that's a really hard thing to describe too. What do I mean by generic? It's really hard to I mean, we all have those movies that you watch them and you're like, meh, it's okay. That was a movie that I watched. I remember watching like what is that vampire hunting guy? What is that called? Is that what it was? What is that movie called? Shit, that's gonna bother me. There was a movie that me and my friends saw years ago. Did it start with a W? I don't know. There was a movie that we saw years ago, and for a very long time, that is the movie that we would point to whenever we saw something equally as boringly generic. And what was that called? Crap. Yeah, Van Helsing. Van Helsing, thank you. $2004. Is that what that probably perfect time for yeah. Yep. Perfect. Van Helsing. Yeah, when we saw it, that became like the Van Helsing became like the go-to whenever we wanted to kind of describe what a movie was like that didn't hit us and that was super generic, Van Helsing became like, yeah, that was like a Van Helsing, right? It's hard to explain, but I think putting into that kind of context makes it easier to understand. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Caleb Kim, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Just chilling, listening to this, and
Blade?
Oh, one sec.
Van Helsing, Buffy.
Not Blade, not Buffy. Those are fun. Van Helsing was. I wish I could have gone to the bathroom for an hour and a half. Caleb Kemp, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Just chilling, listening to this, and playing Battlefront. Hope you're doing well. Well, thank you so much for the support this evening, man. I need to jump back on Battlefront. We haven't played Battlefront in a long time. I haven't played Battlefront in probably over a month now, Caleb. Just with the move and everything and me not having everything set up in the office, I've just been more in the mood to do these laid-back hangout streams, to tell you the truth. So I think maybe the next time that I stream, I will do a Battlefront stream. As I said earlier, my wife's going out of town this weekend, so I'm planning on doing a long stream either Friday or Saturday night. Probably Friday. And I might turn it into like an hour of just hanging out and shooting the shit, and then an hour of Battlefront. So, we'll see. But if you're on, I will absolutely shoot you an invite and we'll play some. But it's good to see you, man. Good to hear your voice last night. And I hope everything's going well for you as well. And Robbie with the good hair, 1701. Mythical style film would be awesome. I would also love to see like a fun buddy cop movie. I think a buddy cop film is what Solo should have been. I agree. Robbie, let me take a quick sip of water real quick. So yeah, Robbie, I was really excited when we found out that Lord and Miller were going to be making a Solo movie. I thought that was a fun choice. I didn't think they would take things too serious in terms of like being drab and dim, I guess you could put it. Not in terms of lighting, although we did get a very dim movie. But in terms of having a fun adventure and kind of a buddy cop style romp, I think would have been perfect for a Han Solo movie. Not taking itself too serious. I think that's a big problem that I have with Solo, other than it just being like Han Solo greatest hits. It was kind of a missed opportunity to be more playful, It wasn't as playful as I was hoping. But yeah, mythical style film would be awesome. Yeah, and Robbie, not only mythical or buddy cop, but there's so many avenues for Star Wars to go down in terms of kind of tackling other genres and trying new things. And I would love for them to kind of branch out and do something that's more kind of in line with what you call a buddy cop or a detective story, as was mentioned earlier. I think that would be healthy for the franchise. Branching out, trying new things, But yeah, I appreciate that, Robbie. In Star Wars Story, finally, Episode 6, she'll love his redemption and Ghost. Oh, that was a continuation. Yeah, that I love the. I don't think I'll ever show it to her like that, because I'm kind of a believer of release order and just seeing the way the movies came out to the world, I think is interesting in itself. But I really like the reason behind that order, especially with the jump from 2 to like A New Hope. I mean, sure, Rogue One, but jumping from Episode 2 to A New Hope, skipping Episode 3, not knowing what Anakin becomes, leaving that in the dark, leaving that as a mystery. I like that, the reasoning behind that. So the more I think about it, I'm not going to show it to her like that, but the more I think about it, the more it's kind of an intriguing way for someone to experience Star Wars for the first time. Very different, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. In Commonwealth Realm, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Future Star Wars movies should explore other eras than the Skywalker saga. There's so much potential right there. Yep, I've been saying it for 10 damn years, ain't I been saying it, Miguel? I could not agree more. You know, we have Rogue One, we have Solo, we have movies and about characters that we're already familiar with. We have recurring characters. Oh yeah, Vince, you're the hammer. Go for it, man. Trolling is a long game, ladies and gentlemen. That's stupid. Mess with people. Don't just come in here and spam a chat. Mess with people. Trolling is a long game, dude. But yeah, Commonwealth. I could not agree more. Could not agree more. The Star Wars is. You think of not only in terms of time, but in terms of scale and scope of this Star Wars galaxy, right? There's so many characters to create. There's so many stories to be told. Not everything needs to be kind of in this little bubble that has already been mulched over, right? As you said, there's so much potential in the branches that kind of connect to the main Star Wars vein. And yeah, I could not agree more, man. The future, I guess the inventiveness, the uniqueness of Star Wars is in pushing the boundaries of what a Star Wars movie can be and when a Star Wars movie can be. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. In Star Wars Story, how much money to get a HG associate producer credit? I sub lots of Star Wars channels, but they'll all become generic clickbait theory vids. You keep it real, man. Well, I appreciate that. HG associate producer credit. That I've never had anybody else do anything on this channel, man. Other than I have had Battlefront updates on for a podcast, and I have Star Wars Explained. Alex and Molly were on one of my clickbait videos a while ago. It might have been before the Last Jedi, to tell you the truth. I can't remember when that was. So associate producer, HelloGreedo. Director, HelloGreedo. Director of photography, HelloGreedo. Audio engineer, HelloGreedo. But yeah, I appreciate that Star Wars story. And, you know, there's a lot of clickbait out there, and I've always tried my hardest not to just kind of feed the beast. It's cheap, right? It's cheap. But yeah. And Vince Wynn, apparently the deal was Tony Todd would get $1,000 every time a bee stung him. He took home $23,000. Really? I need to look that up. I'm not doubting you here, Vince, but Tony Todd. Let's see. Ah, here we go. No one likes getting stung by bees, but if you're acting, blah, blah, blah. That's just what Tony Todd did for Candyman, and it resulted in him receiving $23,000 on top of what he already earned. That's hilarious. That's weird, man. Shit. Imagine all the beekeepers that are getting stung, seeing what Tony Todd made through the production of a film for getting stung by 23 bees. I'm surprised he only got stung by 23 bees. Only 23? That's surprising. Unless they shot those scenes like super fast. Maybe. Before CG. Yeah, 94. Kind of right at the beginning, right? But interesting, man. But yeah, I appreciate that. In Star Wars Story, Blade, Van Helsing, Buffy. Definitely Van Helsing. Blade was fun. Buffy, I didn't really watch much Buffy, but I know I saw a few episodes when I was a kid. Well, kid is a pretty relative term. When was the first Buffy first episode? 97. I would have guessed it was a little older than that. Okay. So I was 11 years old when Buffy first came out. Interesting. More than 20 years ago that show started. That's got to be... You ever think about that? Like when actors and stuff like that think of their past work and they go, wow. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar thinking, wow, I was in Buffy 23 years ago. I started Buffy 23 years ago. Time flies, man. But yeah. Anyway. Appreciate that. And Star Wars Cantina, HelloGreedo, can you describe Star Wars in 3 words? Ooh, that's tough. Putting me on the spot. Lightsabers, blue milk, force lightning. Nah. Golly, that's really tough. Adventure. They don't have to be words that make sense in a sentence, right? I'm just gonna say 3 words. Adventure. Throw romance in there. Adventure. Romance. What's another word for... What's a word that I could use for, like, fighting against oppression or doing the right thing or looking out for your friends? Heroic. There you go. That's a good one, Cal. Heroic, adventure, romance. Coming to a theater near you. A tale. A space opera filled with romance. Adventure. Heroicism. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Oh, that's tough as the 3 words. Yeah, adventure, romance, and heroicism. There you go. I like that. I like that. How old do you think I am, Nick? I'm very curious. I actually met a guy out in LA who thought, I met him and we shook hands and we were talking, and he was surprised to hear that he was like, "You're HelloGreedo?" And he was like, "I thought you were like 50. I was like, "What the fuck?" I don't know, it's just kind of funny, man. But yeah. Robbie with the good hair once again. Very happy to follow you on YouTube for years. Patreon and Instagram. Your book is fantastic. Keep up the great content and have a wonderful evening. Well, dude, thank you so much for the extremely kind words this evening. Thank you so much for the support, and thanks for picking up the book, man. It's, as I've said, it was nerve-wracking putting that thing out because, as you know, it's quite often extremely personal. And to know that some people are getting something out of it and are enjoying it is mind-blowing. The reception with the reviews and on Amazon and stuff like that, and not only that, but also people telling me that they've been enjoying it, is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I check like the Amazon listing every other day or so just to see if there's any new reviews or whatnot, and it's pretty cool to see, man. It's pretty cool to see. But yeah, thank you so much, Robbie, for the support. I appreciate the hell out of that. And Dylan Compton, I was still here. I remember being shocked by your helmet upgrade, an odd sensation in response to some random guy online, a change of form. Thanks. Yeah, man. So this is actually the second Stormtrooper helmet. I don't know if you remember, Dylan, but the Greedo mask, yep, that's what I started with. It was falling apart. I'm sure you remember the old videos. I had to wear Band-Aids on the mask because the mask was splitting and cracking and drying out so bad. It was in horrible shape. Eventually, it just basically disintegrated and melted and cracked apart. And then I decided to get a Stormtrooper helmet. My first Stormtrooper helmet was an EFX helmet. Not screen accurate, just kind of very... I don't know. I you know, if you just want a Stormtrooper helmet that's not screen accurate and it just kind of looks like a Stormtrooper helmet, sure, cool. That's what I had. But then I ended up building a full set of Stormtrooper armor in like 2012 or something like that, or 2013 maybe. And now I have a screen accurate set of Stormtrooper armor, and my helmet is screen accurate, which is kind of crazy, right? But yeah, big. That was a big change for the channel, and that was an early change. That was a very early change in the channel, and I don't know if I would have continued to wear the Greedo mask. I probably would have done a face reveal because that mask is so uncomfortable. It's by far the most uncomfortable mask I own. It fogs up so bad. It gets so hot in there. There's zero visibility. But yeah, I probably would have ditched the whole mask and helmet thing a long time ago if that were the case. But I appreciate that, Dylan. And bass gas mask. Why was the writing in the prequel so autistic, especially in episode 3? You underestimate my power. Haha, it's like some Chris Chan. I don't know what Chris Chan is. Level dialogue. Chris Chan. I don't know what Chris Chan is. Chris Chan. The Legend of Chris Chan. PewDiePie. Papa Timmy. I don't know. Encyclopedia Dramatica. I never thought of it in those terms, Bass Gas Mask. I just always thought the the dialogue was super clunky and awkward and not really well written and very just to the point. And Harrison Ford always said, you know, about the dialogue that George Lucas wrote, you can read this shit, but you can't say it. I've never thought of it in that sense. I like Encyclopedia Dramatica stuff, so I might end up 30. I don't know anything about this. Man, the internet is so fucking weird. Why is there is a Oh my god, this is a huge Encyclopedia Dramatica entry. This is an enormous entry. All right. That's enough internet for one evening. But I appreciate that Bass Gas Man. Bass Gas Mask. And Coon Wolf, thank you so much. Hey, Greedo, quick question. Do you ever think there will be a Vader solo film created by Lucasfilm/Disney taking place in between episodes 3 and 4? If I had to guess, I mean, given enough time, right? Given enough... Let's say we look 50 years in the future. Maybe. But for me, man, like, that idea doesn't really interest me. That idea... that idea doesn't interest me whatsoever, to tell you the truth. Like, we've had Vader stories, we've had Vader comics, we've had, Vader in shows, we've had Vader in movies, we've had a lot of Vader, a lot of Anakin. If they were going to do something like that, Wolf, I would rather them focus their efforts on something new characters, new stories, all that, new. I'll never say never. But the idea of, getting that doesn't excite me. And like I said, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. Given enough time, if they want to continue doing anthology films, which, if they never do one again, I'm fine with. I'm completely fine. The 2 anthologies films that we got haven't really done much for me. That's not to say that they couldn't make a third that blew me away and I absolutely loved. But I would rather have kind of Star Wars movies be trilogies or a series of films rather than one-offs. If you're going to do anthologies, turn those anthologies into a TV show. Throw it on Disney Plus. You know what I mean? Rogue One would have been a cool Disney series, right? A little more time to get to know the big cast of characters. But yeah, Wolf. I'm sure most people would love an idea like that. But for me, I kind of want new. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. And Eduardo, once again, they lost an opportunity with Rey. TLJ idea about her coming from nothing, in my opinion, was great. The execution wasn't perfect, but it was an interesting step. Could not agree more, Eduardo. Let me take a quick sip. I could not agree more. Rey, I love the idea of somebody coming from nothing, from nowhere, and becoming something. It's an interesting idea. Especially in Star Wars. And I've never understood the desire that some fans have to need or want so much bloodline or so much lineage. It's never been something that's interested me. The Force was never defined that way to me growing up. The idea of her being a nobody from nowhere was interesting. And the idea of her, why is she a Palpatine? Does anybody like that? It just was such a throwaway nothing line to me. And maybe that was planned from the very beginning. Could have been. You never know. It could have been. I don't know. But I think it just kind of underplayed the character. I think it was detrimental. The delivery of it was, the reveal of it was goofy and not very exciting or interesting whatsoever. It was more eye-rolly when I was in the theater. It was more just like, what? That's stupid. But yeah, I could not agree more. But yeah, I appreciate that, Eduardo. In Star Wars Story, thank you so much. I think Finn yelling "murdering bastard" in Episode 8 was the first time Star Wars featured a swear word. Also, Carrie's daughter played young Leia. Yeah, well, I don't think it definitely wasn't. I mean, if you want to count "damn," I think "damn" that was the first Star Wars curse word. In A New Hope. How does it? Damn fool on his old crusade or something like that. How does it? What was it? Damn fool. It's called Some Damn Fool Idealistic Crusade. Some damn fool on an idealistic crusade like your father. He feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did. So I guess technically that's the first curse word. Except the obvious first curse word is when at the beginning of A New Hope when Luke is walking around the Lars homestead and you hear Aunt Beru say, "Luke, clean your fucking room!" Nah, that didn't happen. That wasn't the first curse word. But, oh, damn fool, I knew you would say that. So, okay, so you got two there. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, he feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did. And then also, damn fool, I knew you would say that. I knew he was going to say that or something. Oh, no, I knew he was going to say that. He was going to say that because he was looking at Chewie, I think, when Han said that, right? then I'll see you in hell. Yeah. Oh yeah, there would be hell to pay. That's true, Blake. So that's technically the first one. Interesting. Vince, I am a Jedi, like my father before me. Fuck you! I love it. I love it. Anyway, I appreciate that Star Wars story. Oh yeah, she played young Leia in Episode 9's flashback. Yeah, I didn't realize that until I read. There was somebody posted an article or something like that today. Actually, I might have seen a picture of that on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Instagram. It was also, what was it? Maybe Billy Lord posted something. No, I don't think it was her. It was probably some Instagram Star Wars thing. There are so many Instagram Star Wars accounts. It is insane. And then you click on them, they have like 60,000 followers. Like, holy shit, all they do is post the same exact picture as everybody else. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway. Cole Schreiber got a new IG handle. Not sure what happened. LOL. Well, you didn't post the handle, Cole. Did you follow me? Follow me and I'll follow you back. I don't have any notifications right now. If you're still here, Cole, post your Instagram handle in the chat. I'll follow you. Cole Schreiber is a man of adventure, and I like looking at his Instagram because he's always snowboarding or rock climbing. Oh no! Oh, you DM'd me. I never check DMs, dude. I apologize. Let's see. Oh, I don't have DM. I don't have a DM. Oh, it's a requested thing. Wait, I don't have a DM. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. Sweet. Boom. Hell yeah. PBR and bad cam placements. Nice. Awesome, man. Done and done. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I appreciate that. And Vince Wynn, Twilight Zone fan, not that new crap, the 50s show. I haven't seen any of the new episodes. I really, you're actually the first person I've ever heard give an opinion on it. So with the original Twilight Zone, I remember growing up and watching a few, but I don't remember being the biggest fan. I don't know why. It seems like something that would be right up my alley. I remember seeing a few episodes, but to me it was almost like the way I felt about the X-Files. You know, I saw a few episodes of the X-Files growing up, and it seemed like something that I would love and seemed like something that I would get into, but for whatever reason, I didn't. Same thing goes with the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone. My dad got me like the entire Twilight Zone DVD collection when that came out, like at a Walmart bin or something like that years ago. I was probably like 16 or something. So I've seen a decent handful, but I've never been the biggest fan. I don't know why. People always kind of describe Black Mirror as a modern version or a technological version of a Twilight Zone, and I could see that. But yeah, I don't know why I've never been a big Twilight Zone follower or viewer. Seems like something that would be right up my alley. That being said, before they turned the Tower of, what is that called? Tower of Twilight Zone. Tower of Terror, yeah. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Didn't they change it? Oh, I thought they changed it. Is it still there? Why did I think they changed it? I thought they changed it like a Guardians of the Galaxy ride or something like that. Why am I thinking that? Now, the Tower of Terror ride is awesome. Oh, it is Marvel themed. Okay, interesting. Are they doing that? I hope they don't do that for Tower of Terror. That's such a classic. Okay, so, oh, I see. At Disneyland Resort, the structure, which is now Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, is the tallest building. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, well. Nothing gold can stay. Cloud, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Love the war scene on Mimban and Solo with the Imperial Army. Do you think we should have some more war type of movies with Star Wars ground battles? That's kind of what I thought Rogue One was going to be, to tell you the truth. I was really excited for getting that kind of stuff. So what I really liked about the Mimban battle stuff, even though it was short, I loved kind of the fog of war of it all. How gritty, and there's no shiny armor there. It is just dirt and grime. It kind of felt like World War I to me. This cannon fodder. These people are just going in to just gain a few feet of ground. I liked it. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed about the movie. And it was very short. But so more war type movies like that, maybe it wouldn't be my first choice. I would want something a little lighter, a little more fun. I can't remember who said it. I apologize, but somebody earlier said a detective Star Wars story. Dude, I can't get that out of my head. I think something like that would be so great. A detective story set in the Star Wars universe would be so awesome. Gritty, like trench warfare stuff in Star Wars. Yeah, it would work. It would work, but for me, I think, like I said, I maybe would want something a little lighter, both in terms of exposure, camera exposure, and also in tone. That being said, the future of Star Wars. That's what this stream is about, right? The future of Star Wars. I mean, Disney owns the property. We could be getting Star Wars until we're going to be getting Star Wars, I'm sure, in some shape or form, until we're all dead. So let's say I'm 33 now. Let's say I've crossed my fingers. I'll go for another 60 years. Probably at the most. 93, that's a good run. I'm guessing Star Wars, there's going to be pockets of Star Wars littered throughout these next 60 years. And there's going to be a lot of space for a lot of different types of Star Wars movies. And a more gritty, ground-based war, ground battle Star Wars movie, I'd be very surprised if we never saw one, But anyway, I appreciate that, Cloud. And LJR16, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. What is your least favorite lightsaber duel? Well, probably golly. Man, it might be Yoda versus the Emperor. I am very, I mean, you guys know me. I've made a lot of videos about lightsaber fights. I've talked about lightsaber fights in the prequels a lot. They honestly, I mean, my favorite one is from The Phantom Menace, because as over the top as it was, it still felt relatively grounded. It still felt relatively realistic, despite it being extremely choreographed, which is how things go. It still felt grounded and real. Yoda and Emperor, I don't know. It's like two CGI things fighting each other. I don't know. It for whatever reason, it doesn't do anything for me. A lot of the lightsaber fights in the prequels feel the same exact way. The fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar kind of feels the same way to me. You could have chopped that thing up, made it more dialogue heavy even, and just made it concise, more powerful. Look at the lightsaber fight at the end of Return of the Jedi, right? Emperor, Luke, Vader. 3 people. So much tension. Not much lightsaber. The lightsaber fight is a dialogue delivery technique. It furthers the narrative. That lightsaber fight is all conversation. It's all conversation. Luke goes and hides in the shadows. Vader's toying with him. If you will not be turned, perhaps she will. Luke pops up and yells never, and then all training goes out the window. Luke turns into a madman and frantically bashes on Vader until eventually he cuts his hand off, and we all know what happens from there. But that is my favorite lightsaber fight. And you compare that dialogue rich, that narrative rich lightsaber fight that isn't all about flash and flippy doos and CGI bullshit. You compare that to something like Grievous and Obi-Wan or Yoda and the Emperor. It doesn't hold a candle to it, man. That's just me. Anyway, I appreciate that, LJR16. Thank you so much for the support this evening, man. And Story Room, favorite defining moments in the sequels. Definitely when Kylo kills Han Solo, when Ben kills his father. And then probably one of the most defining things for me, and it's not necessarily a single moment. Well, I think honestly, I think the most powerful and memorable scene in the entire sequel trilogy is Luke on Crate. That projection, that twist. I think that will go down as one of the most interesting, fresh concepts in Star Wars. I love it. I love it. I had not... The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, I haven't been that surprised by a moment in Star Wars. Probably since I was a kid and I found out that Luke was Vader's dad. You know? That was such a memorable moment that I through and through love. So that's probably my favorite moment in the sequel trilogy, and I think one of the biggest defining moments in the sequel trilogy. For me, a lot of the defining moments do come from The Last Jedi, because interesting concepts were in there. The connection between Rey and Kylo, starting out as adversaries, which they continued to be, but they grew to empathize and understand one another's plight and their struggles, and that was really interesting too. But I think overall, my favorite sequel trilogy moment is at the end of The Last Jedi with Luke and Kylo. So, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. In Star Wars Story, come to the UKHG. We've got Blue Milk and Bad Weather. I've been to London once. I was there in when was that? 2015? I think it was 2015. When did the very first, let's see. What did the teaser trailer for Force Awakens teaser trailer? No, that couldn't be right. Okay, so the second teaser trailer. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, it was 2015 then. I was in London for the second Force Awakens teaser trailer. That's how I remember the date. April 2015. I had a good time, man. We kind of did the touristy stuff first, and then we just kind of explored London and went to like Stonehenge and kind of went to a few small towns and had fun. But yeah, we're definitely spoiled here down in Florida, man. Gorgeous weather constantly. But it gets way too hot.
Do you remember the first time you really loved a movie? Like a life-changing moment when you thought to yourself, man, movies are awesome. Mine was the first time I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Final super chat and channel support of the stream. Give me one sec. Let's see. So yeah, I had fun. I don't know when I will ever have an opportunity to go again. Especially probably not until our kids are. We have one kid now, but we're planning on having another one in the distant future. But probably not until our kids are a little older, so we can take them. But yeah. How dark is your humor? Watch Jedi Temple meme 10 seconds. Jedi Temple meme 10. Dude, I was in the Navy. And we have a extremely twisted sense of humor. Nothing gets to me. Oh, I see it. Okay, I'm gonna watch this after the stream. Okay, I just don't want the audio to play on a stream. I don't want, the stream would get taken down because it's somebody else's video. So I'll check it out after the stream. Okay. I'll check it out after the stream. I have it right here. I have it pulled up, ready to watch. But yeah. I appreciate the support this evening, man. Frankie L., what if Star Wars did a sort of National Geographic? Huh. Are you... Okay, so are you talking about... Dude, that is a really cool idea for, like, some kind of... That's a fun idea. For, like, a fun web series or something like that for them to do, or some Disney Plus. Oh, dude, I love that idea, Frankie. I love that idea. Oh, man, you could do... I would like it to be like Planet Earth, right? But on Disney Plus... And playing it up, you could even get David Attenborough in there, right? And talking about different planets and creatures, and dude, that would be a really, really fun idea. I think, something like that would be just. I believe it would be popular. Not everything needs to be big spaceships and shooting. Something like that would just kind of be almost like a visual dictionary, but told in a really fun way, right? I love that idea, Frankie. I'm going to screenshot that, Frankie, and I'm going to tweet that out. Cool? Cool. But yeah. Let me go ahead and copy and paste that so I don't forget. Cool. There we go. All right. Anyway. Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat, channel support. Final super chat, channel support of the stream. Do you remember the first time you really, really loved a movie? Like a life-changing moment when you thought to yourself, man, movies are awesome. Mine was the first time I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's really, really hard for me. Let's see. So, golly, that's really tough for me, man, because I've always, I can't really think of a time in my life where movies weren't a huge part of my life. You know, I was never sheltered for anything. I watched everything my parents watched. You know, every R-rated movie, whatever was shown on the TV, I was not restricted from seeing. So I've always seen a lot of great movies, violent movies, ridiculous cursing movies from at a very young age, and I've always been just kind of, I don't know, entranced, I guess. I guess by the art form. I'm gonna say though, like, well, definitely Star Wars has always been just, oh, you can tell these kind of stories, you know, on the big screen. But one of the most mind-blowing movies to me, honestly, was Men in Black. Growing up, and still to this day, dude, Men in Black is one of the movies that I'm most excited to show my kid. It's a fun, fish out of water, goofy adventure flick with a silly premise, and it's so well done. I grew up watching that movie nonstop because it was so different, and it felt, it was just a fun adventure. And as I said at the very beginning of the stream, I always love the fish out of water kind of experience of a character. And it's a good one. And a lot of humor goes into it too. But I don't think there's a particular movie. It's just always been something I've been interested in. Look, even like Back to the Future. Back to the Future is probably up there too in terms of like, whoa. You know, what a unique and interesting idea. But yeah. Anyway. I appreciate that, man. All right, guys. I got a jet. That was 2 hours and 13 minutes of... I didn't give a time frame of this one, did I? Let me see. Tomorrow I got a video uploading that it's just me talking in front of a camera. Nothing too exciting. I'm sure it'll get a lot of dislikes. Let's see, what else? Oh, I have a video coming out hopefully this weekend. Talking about critic and audience scores. Just kind of interesting to me. Looking at it, doing a little dive into that. And other than that, I'm working on a parody video. And I'm probably going to end up doing a stream tomorrow night and a few over the weekend. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. These are always a lot of fun. I've just had a desire to do light speed lounges for the past month. Eventually, I'll get back into playing some video games. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like, I like hanging out and shooting the shit on a microphone and, you know, not having any distractions other than just the chat, you know. But... so yeah, let's see. What is today? Wednesday. Tomorrow, video. Friday, definitely Friday night stream. Saturday, probably a Saturday night stream too. And hopefully a video on Saturday as well. But we shall see. So, all right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your morning, your afternoon, wherever the hell you are on this big, beautiful blue marble. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya.